listen to Wu-Tang?
No.
You ready?
Wu-Tang, they're not around anymore, right?
Wu-Tang?
Are they dead?
Oh, just old ODB.
They're just OGs. What's ODB? What's ODB?
Old dirty bastard.
No, I don't know who that is either. I never.
You didn't listen to Wu-Tang Clan?
No, I never went down the Wu-Tang Clan route.
Method Man, Ghostface Killer, the RZA, the Jizza, Inspector Death.
Is that all Wu-Tang?
It's all Wu-Tang. You don't.
How many members are in the Wu-Tang Clan?
At one point, I think like 40.
Are you serious?
I don't know. It seems like it like ebbed and flowed with who was in the group.
Was there like multiple people that would come into
Deck.
Wu-Tang and then like leave, or?
No, like Wu-Tang Clan, it was like they were I don't know where they were located at, but somewhere in New York. They were all independent rappers.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of like came together because they were like the best in their hood, and they just formed a group. Like a couple guys inside the group, I guess, didn't like. I'm probably making half this shit up.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because there's like I've watched like the Hulu series on it. Like
Yep.
there's a whole series on it that tells like their story, like how they blew up and stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. Some of that shit's probably made up, you know. But yeah, they were my favorite back in the day.
Is that 90s?
Yeah,
They
90s.
considered 90s
Dude,
rap?
that's when rap was the best.
90s rap?
90s rap, absolutely. You had Tupac, you had Biggie, you had Wu-Tang Clan, you had Outkast. Before Outkast got weird.
NWO. No, Outkast was badass.
Did you say NWO?
Yeah, NWA. Sorry.
There you go.
NWO.
The wrestlers?
New World Order?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Well, also NWO. That was when wrestling was good too.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
Well,
so,
yeah.
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 And
See,
grunge music and punk music. And there was a lot of good things in the 90s. Then the 2000s.
So much.
And then 2000s hit. And rap was still good in the 2000s because you had like Nelly and 50 Cent came on scene. Eminem blew up.
Yep.
That's when I started listening to rap in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Early 2000s, the late 90s. That was the greatest period.
Great music.
Everything.
Great music. I mean, what was that from? Why was it such like a huge push? Like 90s had
rap?
fucking great music. No, in like every genre there was great music.
Every genre. Shit, dude. I mean, I even remember in the 90s listening to like SWV and even TLC.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go chasing waterfall. That's why I love 3D Fitness. You go out there, you can hear TLC all day long.
Yeah. We listened to TLC at Iron Legacy too.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And then when the monsters come at like 8 at night, then it's all hardcore.
Is it?
Yeah. I switched the music.
Yeah.
Like Miranda will put on because she has a lot of her clients, and like from 5 to 7 range, you're getting like T Swift, and you're getting like the old
T Swift.
Yeah,
Who's
she'll go Taylor Swift.
Oh.
She'll go like in the Taylor Swift phase. She has like 15, 20 minutes. She'll put it on. We'll be jamming to Taylor Swift.
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
we'll go into 90s rap.
Yeah.
And then the monsters come after 7 and we'll change the music.
Yeah,
So,
dude, it's just not the same anymore. Maybe it's just because we're old.
is it nostalgia factor? Probably.
Maybe some of it's nostalgia factor, but I just feel like it was better music all the way around. Like you said, like even rock, it just doesn't have the same flair, or maybe style has changed so much that we've just become our parents. You know?
Yeah.
Now I try and listen to rap, like some of the new guys, like the mumble rap, and then you got I don't know, some of it I just can't get into.
I like Post Malone.
Yeah, I love Post Malone.
Yeah.
Post Malone's good.
But he crosses all genre.
Dude,
like, I don't know if you've listened to any of his, like, country. He did, like, a whole thing of country. He also did a whole thing of Nirvana.
Dude, that was killer. When he did during COVID and they did the Nirvana cover live, like, that was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he killed it.
He's fucking awesome. Like, he crosses over every genre and can sing in every genre, which is awesome.
Yeah. And that's why, you brought up, because I was like, who's Jelly Roll?
Jelly Roll's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I love him. I'm a huge fan now. Like, after knowing his story and everything he did to try and blow up and everything he's been through, it's like, yeah, I can jive with this guy. He's cool.
I like Jelly.
Yep.
Going back to Post, though, I went to a Drain concert, like a hardcore punk concert. They came to Boise at the Shredder, and it was actually sold out. They're like California hardcore, they're considered, or like surf hardcore. I don't know. They're from the beach. So like when we went to this concert, when they were up, they were the main performance, and everyone had like, they dished out pool noodles. So everyone had pool noodles. There was like wakeboard or like surfboards that people were like surfing on the crowd with. And then they turn on all the lights too, so you can see everything. So everyone's just beating the shit out of each other with pool noodles and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I saw they took a picture because they went from Boise down to Salt Lake City, and Post Malone lives in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And
Was he in the crowd?
He was at the concert, so
Hell
they
yeah.
all took pictures of them, which is kind of cool.
What do you call that genre?
Hardcore punk.
You said it was like surfer punk, though?
Yeah, I don't know what Drain considers themselves. A lot of people call them like surfer hardcore, but they're from California. I don't know. Yeah, pretty cool.
Sounds like fun, though. I mean, hey, I'd rather be beating each other up with poo noodles instead of, like, dude, because it was back in the day we went to Devil Wears Prada and A Day to Remember concert.
Yeah, A Day to Remember they put on a good show.
Dude. But I got the shit kicked out of me. Like, it was like, and we were trying to avoid the mosh pit, too. Like, we were trying to stay out of it. And I was getting kicks to the back of the head, just trying to enjoy the show. Like, what the fuck? Like, it was brutal.
Yeah.
I think I'd much rather catching a pool noodle
to
upside my head
Yeah.
than someone's fucking size 10.
Yeah, true.
But anyways, we're back.
Yeah,
It's been a couple weeks. So we just went off on a tangent, but that's what we do.
Yeah, I thought we needed some one-on-one time now so that we can go down rabbit holes again. Yeah, we came in on the weekend because we knew we needed something. Something.
And I owe some of our listeners an apology. I do know that actually I think it was 2 people hit me up. Right, I'm surprised we even have 2 listeners. But
my mom and thanks, Mom.
No, but seriously, one dude approached me in the gym. He's like, I love your podcast, and he was like, but I got to be honest. And I don't remember which episode it was, but he was like, I had to shut it off. He's like, I can't. I already deal with enough stress in my life, and you guys kind of stressed me out even more talking about what's coming with China and shit like that. And it's not our duty to we're not trying to stress anybody out, but we just want to discuss shit that's going on in the world.
Yeah, I just want to be real and just maybe bring up some issues that people don't know is actually happening.
Yeah. So we're not those conspiracy theorists that trying to stress people out or cause false narratives or anything like that. But just want to talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
But in this episode, I really wanted to talk about fucking movies.
Oh, cool.
I think, man, there's been some great fucking movies that I've watched lately.
Yeah, same. This weekend was one of the biggest in the box office with Oppenheimer dropping as well as Barbie dropping at the same time. Barbie Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
people were saying that they're going to go see.
You went and saw Oppenheimer, right?
I saw Oppenheimer yesterday afternoon in IMAX. So it was supposed to be seen in IMAX. I guess Christopher Nolan shot it in a way that I guess.
But did you actually hear about the IMAX thing? And by the way,
yes.
I
did you put that up?
What?
Did you send that to me?
What?
Or did I just see that randomly in my feed? That there's only 19 IMAX theaters in the U.S.?
No, I saw it on Barstool Sports. It wasn't me that sent it to you.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I saw it on Barstool too.
There's
IMAX
only
is lying to
19
us.
true IMAX theaters.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Why are we paying extra money at the movie theaters here when they claim it's IMAX?
I think a true IMAX is 70 mm, which I don't know what the fucking mm stands
millimeter?
for. Millimeter?
Millimeter.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, they were saying that there's only 19 true IMAX, but it's still labeled an IMAX theater at Edwards Theater in Boise.
Right. And
so how do they get around that?
And how are they going to charge you more for it?
I don't know. It's a big ass fucking screen.
It is.
And the sound system is ridiculous. So
yeah.
I mean, it was definitely worth seeing.
Now they've got those new 4D movie theaters. I don't know if you've seen those too. I don't know if the one here, but they have ones where it shakes your seat and shit.
I don't know if I want to get too much into that.
Right. That's what I was like, dude. I like going to the Meridian Village one because you can go in there, you can drink beer.
Yeah,
21 VIP, and you can order food and stuff. Just sitting there fucking shaking and you trying to eat food and drink.
Just fucking food everywhere. No, I don't want. No, I like how they have the recliner seats at the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
But how was Oppenheimer?
Fucking awesome. I liked it a lot. Yeah, it's 3 hours long, and a lot of people were saying because they build up to it. They show Robert Oppenheimer's life prior, and with Christopher Nolan, sometimes his timelines kind of bleed into each other. So sometimes in the movie, it was hard to follow. I didn't really have that hard of a time following because they're going back in time, looking at how Robert Oppenheimer came up through Europe and where he studied under and that, and then it would flash forward to a trial against him. because prior to him being in the Manhattan Project, he wasn't part of the Communist Party, but he was going to events because he was at UC Berkeley, which was like a very liberal college, and was starting to go to like communist like gatherings. So after the Manhattan Project was done, it shows how the government tried to fuck Oppenheimer over because they started bringing that out after, and they revoked his clearance, his Q clearance.
Oh, really?
So he wasn't able to work anywhere after. But I won't go too deep into it so that people can see. But I thought it was a fucking masterpiece. And there was no CGI in it, which is cool. So when you do see... So for when they do drop the first atomic bomb at Los Alamos, Christopher Nolan didn't do any CGI when it shows the explosion. It was he actually blew up stuff to show the explosion.
What?
Yeah, so like when they show the first atom bomb being blown up,
yeah,
that's not CGI'd. He actually fucking blew up stuff.
With what?
I have no idea.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
you made it to the box office. You had a hard
to
time deciding which ticket to get, Barbie or Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I was wearing pink, but I decided to go.
Barbie was sold out.
Barbie was sold out. Yeah. Oh, and Robert Downey Jr. is in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Same with Matt Damon.
Yeah, him, Matt Damon, obviously the guy from Peaky Blinders.
Cillian Murphy.
Great
cast. Fucking monster.
Yep. Man, that's good. I really want to see it. I'm never a big first night when a movie releases, just because of how many fucking people.
It was sold out.
Yeah, you're gonna be bumping elbows with people you just don't know, and I just need my space. So I'll wait a couple weeks and then I'll go see it. But I'm definitely gonna go see it in the box office. I want to.
Yeah, it's definitely worth seeing on the big screen with the great surround sound.
Yeah. And speaking of movie theater, have you guys seen? Have you seen that eyeball in Vegas?
I saw it. I just seen the memes of it. Like when my husband goes to Vegas and it's just like the meme of the girl's eye, like watching like the Eye of Sauron and fucking Lord of the Rings.
Like the big eyeball in Vegas. I want to look up the stats. So it's owned by Madison Square Garden. It's like a $3 billion, project, but it's actually a show house. And that's why I wonder if they'll be able to show movies in or whatever, because they say it's going to open with U2, right? Like right now it's a huge display on the outside that's very distracting to people. And it's like phenomenon. You're like, holy shit, like look at that thing. But the inside of it, the concert house, they say it'll house like 50,000 people. But it's kind of like that 4-dimensional thing that we were just talking about, right? Like you sit in your seats and you've got the concert happening in front of you, but it's the screen behind them, and it's got shit going on the screen. And they showed an example. It was like a spaceship taking off on the screen, and there's smoke, right? But there's smoke actually coming up from the floor too, so it's like 3-dimensional. Just looks fucking wild. I'm excited. I would love to go see a show inside that thing. I just want to see it in person, though.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. The Eyeball Building, MSG Sphere. The MSG Sphere in Vegas. It's fucking huge.
Weren't you saying they're trying to put one in Europe too or something like that?
Yeah. There's one. So there's one being built simultaneously over in Europe somewhere, but I guess it's faced a bunch of setbacks. So the Vegas one opened first, but dude, it's something else, man. Something fucking else.
Yeah, I'll be down there in September.
Sorry? For what?
Yeah, for nationals.
Oh, okay.
Powerlifting nationals. So maybe I'll have to go check it out.
Dude, you have to. You have to go check it out.
I'll let you know. See if I can get
some videos or some pictures of it. Like there were people from Top Golf, and like you see it, like it's right there, boom. So like people that are golfing in Top Golf, and like the night it came on, everybody was like filming because it's like this eyeball comes alive and it's like hello world. People are trying to golf. They're like, what the fuck? It's like 12-story fucking eyeball staring at them.
Yeah. I wonder if you can like pay to put your face on there. Like if they're like, okay, it's like $3,000 a minute.
To put an advertisement up.
Yeah. I mean, why not? People would pay, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Put your face on there for 15 seconds.
That's why it's like, hey, people pay for their 15 minutes of fame. I don't know if you saw it. UFC does that now too, where every UFC event you can pay, and I think it's $1,000, but they'll put your name on the mat.
What?
It's like It was like that big.
Yeah.
But after the event, they cut out your name. And so like if they bled on you, you could have like someone's blood on your name, and they send it to you in a frame as your name, and it'll be like name was on this part of the mat. But they charge $1,000.
Yeah.
So, and if your name's that big, how many people's names are they putting on the mat?
Oh,
they're just making
thousands,
a killing.
Thousands.
Just extra income for those motherfuckers.
Dude, UFC gets it. They get it, man. That
Yep.
revenue stream. I guess that's better than like those people that you can go online and like buy a star.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see that shit?
Mm-mm.
You can like buy a star and they'll send you it, like send you a little picture of it. You can't like fucking actually buy a star. But.
Of a star?
Yeah,
in the
and
sky?
Yeah. Be like,
And
that's your
send you
star. Yeah, and they'll send you a little picture and that's your star.
Shut the fuck
I swear. Yeah, it's a fucking.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I know, but people
I own
do
a star.
it. I own this star over
You
here.
don't own shit.
Yeah,
You just got taken.
yeah. You just
Perception. So, other good movies, the one that I've been bugging you to see is Sisu.
Yeah, which I feel like no one knows about,
Dude,
but you said is a fucking trip.
I tell you guys what, if you're looking for a good fucking movie, but you got to be in the right mindset. It is bloody, and it's from the guys that did John Wick
Mm-hmm.
and a couple other like hardcore fucking movies. And this one, it's insane. It's about this Finnish from Finland.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ex-Finnish officer, and he's out gold mining during World War II. And Nazis invade their territory, and this dude ends up taking on the Nazis by himself, like fucking Rambo and John Wick in one, but it's a Nazi killer. But it is, dude, it's intense and like very cinematic, the way they shot it. Like I love it. But dude, it has some scenes in there you're just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like it's just watching him destroy Nazis in the most pleasurable way. And dude, it's a great movie. Like the dude that did, like it's far out. It's not one you want to sit down and be like, okay, that's not believable. It's like he's like hardcore superhuman fucking Finnish super soldier killing Nazis.
It's literally just if John Wick teleported back in time to World War II, because he even has a dog too. Right?
Yeah, he has a dog. And dude, it is such a good movie. Like, dude, I loved it. My wife had to walk away from it. So if you have like a weak stomach, because it's pretty like graphic.
Yeah.
In the most epic way.
Yeah.
Awesome fucking movie. But right now it's on, I'm sure there's some sites you could look to download it, but it's on Amazon Prime, but it's only available to rent or buy. So it's $5 to rent or $20 to buy it. But dude, I've already watched it twice.
Oh, you watched it again?
Yeah. It's so fucking good, dude. I was like, what the fuck? And like you said, nobody's heard about it.
Yeah.
I was scanning through there, and I was like, the Sisu, and I read through it, and I was like, okay, cool, because I love old World War II movies. Like, have you ever seen Overlord?
Mm-mm.
Oh, my, what?
No. I just watched, what's it called? Schindler's List yesterday. I'm trying to, like...
Dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched Overlord.
All right, so I love World War II movies, so I watched Sisu, loved it. Another one then for you have to watch Overlord.
I'm going to put it on my list.
That one's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God, I can't believe you haven't watched that.
Dude.
But it takes, that one's like more science fiction. Like they go in, but there's like shit going on, and they're like doing experiments on humans, and they're Overlord. I went and watched it in the theater. It was fucking awesome.
Isn't that what the Nazis were doing anyways? They were trying to make super soldiers.
And so these guys have to fight the super soldiers and shit.
Yeah.
But it's another one. It's graphic, and you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Fucking good. Really good.
Yeah.
Overlord.
I've had to watch it. I've been trying to like go back to watch some movies that I haven't, just because as you and me both know, we haven't had time to do shit.
Yeah.
But last weekend I watched the Mario movie.
Not like it.
It was nostalgia.
Yeah.
Again, it was like nostalgic, and like Chris Pratt and Charlie Day from Luigi, and then Jack Black is fucking Bowser. So I was like, okay, I'll watch it. But I mean, the plot and the whole, like, it's nothing special at all.
No.
But the
music, I
I
lost interest in it. You're right. It's
the
very
music
nostalgia.
was cool. Like hearing like all the old Mario, like when they hit the stars and stuff, and that kind of like the soundtrack was cool, but the plot and the storyline was pretty garbage.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I didn't like it. I was surprised it got such high scores, but
nostalgia factor.
yeah. Yeah, what other movies, man? I think that's really it.
I watched that. Then Oppenheimer, second day after opening. Definitely would recommend going to see that, just to see how everything went down. I didn't realize like the backstory, how Oppenheimer got basically fucked over by the U.S. government after he stopped World War II.
So we have been prepping for it because there's a documentary too on Oppenheimer that just was released, and it was on I think it was on MSNBC. I watched it, but it was available on Netflix too. And but yeah, it's pretty crazy. Goes through everything, and interesting story. But I love history. I love like learning about that stuff, like the stuff that they don't teach us in school, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of gets you to, I don't know, have a different viewpoint. Like watching because you always hear about the Manhattan Project, you know, and how they did it, and the race against fucking, who was it, Russia? Or
it was the race against Germany against the Nazis.
Yeah. And basically whoever got the bomb first won the war.
Yep.
But in the documentary, you know, it goes to show the other side of it. Like, they created this weapon, and it's like, holy fuck. And then when they dropped the 2 bombs on Japan, and it's like, think of how horrible those scientists felt. Like, thousands and thousands of lives taken in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, they go into that in the movie, like how Oppenheimer was like distraught about it because he was like, like there was no other way of doing it. Like, he had to make the bomb because he knew that someone else was going to.
If we didn't, they would.
Yeah.
And
so
then it's on us.
That was the thing. But the problem was then they found out that there was like Russian spies in the Manhattan Project. So that's what spun the Cold War afterwards.
That's what
it goes into. It goes into that as well, because he didn't want to go into the hydrogen bomb, which is like 100 times
way more powerful. Yeah,
way
they
more
talk about
powerful
that
than the original.
He wanted to
bomb.
focus on basically oversight and decommissioning and
he wanted to have basically the UN come in and try to regulate it, because he knew what it was going to be, and like what it was going to look like, and the U.S. government didn't want to have that. He wanted to actually have an open platform where the Russians and the U.S. could talk about it freely, about like what we're learning, what they're learning, but obviously the U.S. was like absolutely fucking not. And then they labeled him they never labeled him as a communist, but they revoked his clearance.
Yeah.
Which is just fucking crazy. And then you start the Cold War, and here we are today.
Yep. So go get your tickets, see Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
That
tomato, I think.
Yeah. Shit, man. And then, dude, I don't know. You saw that, because we were talking about perception and like nostalgia of like Super Mario. You saw that video I sent you of Payless?
Yes, I saw that like a while ago. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. Talk about that.
Yeah, that, you know, because it's just interesting, because we see these people that put on false fronts with businesses, and it's super frustrating, especially in the supplement industry. There's a lot of people that will hide the quality of the product behind huge marketing dollars, and they just dump marketing dollars, and people buy into it, and they buy these less than stellar products because of all the marketing they see and the cool kid factor, because they pay all these influencers to promote their products. Like, oh, I got to be part of the cool kid crowd, so I'm going to buy this shit ass product that's probably not worth what is being charged for it, but everybody's buying it and they've got millions of dollars, so let me fit in with the cool kid crowd. So Payless like basically did it was a brilliant marketing strategy, but they opened up a shop in downtown Los Angeles, and it was called Paylessi. Like, it looked Italian, and they did the storefront up so it looked all luxury. Like, it looked like it was, you know, a fancy ass store to shop in that you needed to have millions of dollars to even walk in. And they just lined it with Payless shoes, and they invited all of these like rich influencers in, and all these people came in and they're like, oh my God, look at these shoes. And they're like, oh, this one's so beautiful. And they had price tags on them at like $18,000 for a pair of fucking $300 or for a pair of $35 shoes.
Yeah.
And these influencers were buying them. They bought the fucking store out, and they were interviewing him like, hey, you know, you bought these shoes, and why'd you buy these shoes? And they're like, because I want to be the envy of my friends, and they're going to wonder, where did I get these shoes? And I'll be the first ones to have them. And then they drop the bomb on them, and they're like, okay, do you know what these are Payless shoes? And like the one lady's face is just, she's completely disgusted. Like she's looking at the shoes, and she's like, no way. And she just looks like she's going to throw up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those are $35 Payless shoes.
Yeah.
She's like, you've got to be kidding me. And she was all pissed off. So obviously they gave the people their money back and shit. But it just goes to show, like, dude, you can polish. I don't want to say a turd. They're good in their own right? But it just goes to show, like, perception, how you can create a perception, and people will buy into that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
it's
fashion.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, fashion. With fashion especially, that's the case. Like you'll see shirts that are 100% cotton shirts that just have some logo or whatever on it, and it's like
marked up
hundreds
400%
of dollars just because of the whatever brand that they smack on it.
Yep.
You know, goes to show. And then going back to the supplement industry, it's like, ooh, they got a cool label on it. It must be good.
Yeah.
Like, and then people don't read into the ingredients or anything. They don't know any better.
Right.
Like they're just going to buy it because who X influencers on the team, or it looks cool, so I'm going to try it. Or it has, what was it? 401 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The one over
3,001 milligrams.
Some of these companies, like, it just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. Like, I talked to a big time influencer who has a shit ton of followers, and just had to pick her brain, like, hey, you're with this company, like, what'd they offer you? Like, what? Help me walk me through. Help me understand, like, what you get and why you chose to be with this company, because it's one of the companies that I absolutely cannot stand. Yeah. It's one that I constantly am pulling the fucking curtain back to expose what's going on behind, right? I
wonder which one that is.
And she was like, dude, it blew my mind. She was like, they pay me $3,000 a month. She gets 25% commission on every sale. Yeah. I was like, what? 25% commission? And you have a 20% discount code, so that means 45% is coming right off the top. And obviously they're making more than that on their products. So they're probably making like 80% margin on the shit product. But they pay her $3,000 a month. And she's like, yeah, and you know, I make about $1,000 in commission. So I'm doing the math in my head. I was like, okay, so if you're 25% commission, that means you're only selling $4,000 worth of stuff a month with your coupon code. So they're losing money on her. They have to be.
Yeah.
But they don't care.
Because they're so big.
Because they're so big. And they're like, yeah, we're willing to lose money on her, because they also take her on trips and they fly her to fucking Mexico, and she gets to bring a +1, and she gets to go all these events paid for, plus $3,000 a month, plus $1,000 commission, plus, it's like, what the fuck? Plus they send her $300 worth of supplements a month.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you compound that by however many huge influencers they have on the team.
Probably hundreds, right?
Hundreds.
Probably.
And, you know, it's cool that they have that much money to do that with, but the reason they have that much money is because they're offering a product and they're making a shit ton of money on it because it's a shit formula, and they're making 80% margin on it.
Yeah.
So where do companies like us that offer quality products, where we're only making like 50% margin? And a lot of people may be like, whoa, shit, 50% margin, that's a lot. It's actually, no, that's very slim. Like at the end of the month, we barely have enough to pay all of our bills. Right. Mm-hmm. After you factor in warehouse, you factor in testing too. That's the other thing. So this one really fucking bothers me. I did a post about it yesterday, was the third-party testing piece, right? Mm-hmm. Because like with us, ever since day one, we've done our third-party testing. So we do the microbial testing. So there's different layers to it, right? And that's the other thing, is the term third-party test is used super loosely in the industry. So you'll have all these companies like, yeah, our products are third-party tested. Cool. What does that mean? Because there's basic third-party testing, which means your product is tested for microbials and heavy metals. And it's the cheapest test. It costs $85 to do a microbial and heavy metal test. Yeah. $85, that's it. So that's a no-brainer for me. $85, make sure that it's not fucking infected with E. coli, Ebola, fucking salmonella, anything else. Just make sure my customers are safe. $85. But there's companies that aren't doing that. Like even First Form, and I called them out. Like, how the fuck are you going to have a product recall for it being infected with staph bacteria, where you're making people sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
A heavy metal in a microbial test would have caught that. $85.
And they have their own lab.
They just choose, that's just, hey, we don't want to pay that $85 because that's more profit we can dump back into the business. But now, because they didn't do it, how much are they going to spend on recall fees?
Oh, God.
So hopefully they learn the lesson.
Hundreds of thousands, maybe?
Right. And look at how big they are.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't do a fucking microbial check. God, it makes me sick. So then you take it a step further. It's like, okay, so even if a company does do that, that's like the basic. Like that's bare minimum. That's what you should be doing at the bare fucking minimum. But then there's third-party testing that that's supposed to be done. Like in the FDA regulations, they say you should have a certificate of analysis showing that your product's been tested and that it's within a 5% marginal error, that what's listed on the label is actually what's in the product. And we know that that's not happening because, Amazon, there was whatever company that was that they bought 18 products off Amazon and tested them to see if it met label claims.
Yeah.
Now the 18 products, there was only 2 that met label claims. The other ones were way off.
Yeah.
Way fucking off. So, no, even though FDA says this should be done on every product, it's not enforced. So nobody does it because, again, that test is like $500 per product, per run. So every run we do of each flavor, it's $500. I need a certificate of analysis showing that, boom, what I say is on the label is what's in the can. Mm-hmm. So most companies don't do that.
Which should be a no-brainer. Like, why are you skipping that step?
Because that's $500 you can pocket.
I know. Right? I'm just saying, like...
And so we know that companies like... There's a lot of companies not doing that.
Well...
And I know Bucked Up's one of them, for example, because their label was so fucked up on their last product that they released.
Mother Bucker?
Mother Bucker. It's like the worst label I've ever seen.
Wasn't there spelling errors?
There were spelling errors. There was ingredients called the wrong ingredient. There was mission ratios on there that should have been on there. But, who cares? We're making millions, right?
Yeah.
So then, so that's another test that should be done. So when you're in the supplement industry and you're looking for third-party testing, now let's say you go to a company and like, yeah, we have microbial testing done. We have certificate of analysis done. Cool. Well, that's 2 steps, right? But that also doesn't guarantee that your product's safe from banned substances. That's a whole nother test. Mm-hmm. And for God's sakes, a lot of people don't do that, because that one in itself is anywhere between $600 to $800, depending on what ingredients you're testing for. It's between $600 to $800 per flavor per run, right? Mm-hmm. To ensure that you're free of like SARMs, that you're free of, DMHA, or DMAA, anabolics like steroids, mm-hmm. right? The important stuff that like someone could have a false positive or have a positive test on your analysis, right?
Yeah.
And that, for me, it's important because we have USAPL powerlifters like yourself. We have people, drug-tested athletes. Like, we have to have that done. I need you guys to feel confident in taking our product, knowing that you're not going to have a positive test and then face, like, potential suspension.
Well, and if you're in the military, like, you don't face a potential suspension. You face, if you test positive on a drug test, like, there ain't no I didn't know. Like,
right.
Depending on where the military's at, like, if they're pretty fat, like, okay, see you later. That's an easy way to get you the fuck out. Like, mm-hmm. You got to be real careful of what you're fucking taking. Mm-hmm. Well, and then it goes back to, like, because there's a lot of, we know a lot of companies now that are putting out one new pre-workout a month. They do, like, a monthly pre-workout. So is that saying that they're probably not doing that?
So they got called out, yeah. So they got, and I actually did a little bit of defense for them. Because, and that's why I did a post yesterday explaining there's different types of testing. Because, and we'll put it out, EchoVision. So yeah, EchoVision, we helped him launch his company. Mm-hmm. And now he does his, special pre's every month where he does one per athlete, right? And they come out with all these new formulas. Well, they got called out. Yes, it was yesterday, I think. Huge. All over social. And M was playing defense and he was like making all these posts like, all right, we're going to have third-party testing now, because everybody was all over him. But some dude was like, it was the post about First Form and their stuff being infected with bacteria. And someone's like, well, then I'm not going to take EchoVision because he's not doing his third-party testing. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I know for a fact he's doing the microbial and heavy metal testing for sure. I know he does that because he goes through the lab that he uses the same lab. I put him in touch with our lab. In our lab, it's mandatory that you do that on every run, which it should be with every fucking lab. But M's not doing the COA or the drug testing, but he says he's going to start, which is good. So, you know, a bunch of people called him out, and he took it professionally, and he said, hey, all right, you know, I see now that people are fucking up in arms about this. I'm going to make sure it's done.
Yeah, well, I don't want to face a suspension in the U.S. or if you're a powerlifter or if you're, you know, drug-tested bodybuilder or something. Like, those suspensions can be up to a year.
Yeah.
Or they can indefinitely suspend you.
Right, to where you can't compete.
For what? Just because I took a scoop of pre-workout and didn't realize what was in it, or there was something in it that wasn't on the label, and then because there's no defense for it, right? Yeah. I didn't know. It's not going to. I
didn't know.
You can't use that defense. They're going to be like, oh, well, you should have known better. Yep. You know?
Yeah, so and that's the one thing that, like, separates us from a lot of companies out there, because we do all this additional testing, right? And so, like I said, so we're $80 into microbial testing, $500 to $600 for a certificate of analysis, $600 to $800 for banned substance testing, right, per formula. So it adds like an extra $1,500 onto each run. And when we talk run, like, if it's broken up into different lots, you have to do it per lot.
So you're doing each flavor.
So every run of every flavor costs us off the top an extra $1,500 more than what the competitor's going to pay. And our formulas are already well dosed, max dosed, way better dosed than a lot of these companies that are, you know, raking in already higher profits than us. So we run on slim margins. But it's a necessity. And then to take it a step further, like, we don't even do the best testing out there because we can't afford to, because there's another level of, like, if you want to ultimately be safe, and I'll be transparent about this, if you want to be 100% sure that your product is completely safe and ban free, like with ours, I can guarantee it because we do the testing per lot and there's no other lots being made. So we do the test with every run. But I think that there's been people that have done the test to get the paperwork on one lot. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
and then
they
run
it, and then they just
concurrent lots after that.
They just change the flavor or something, but it's not tested.
Or they just choose not to. It's like, well, we're running 3 other lots. I got this piece of paper in here that shows we did a test. Now I can run these lots, and I'm going to save the $1,500 and not have it tested. Right? Well, we don't do that. Every lot has a fucking piece of paperwork. But because people have done that in the past, they now have informed choice and informed sports testing, which is basically a pool you enter into, and they do blind testing. So basically you pay an annual fee to be a part of this pool. It's like $3,000 to be in it. And then they go out and they blind sample. So they'd go out and they'd buy a product of ours without us knowing from Amazon. And they'd go out and they'd buy a blind product from maybe our website and then from a reseller, like let's say Built Athletics. They'll buy these without us knowing, and then they test them too on top of the tests that we've already had done. So that way, if it basically holds us accountable, so we don't push out a lot and be like, well, we're not going to test this one, because they'll find it, they'll test it, and they'll be like, oh, hey, this one popped.
So let's explain lot. So you're saying, like, someone, like, let's just make it easy. So, like, with Send It would be considered a lot, right?
No, so Send It, every flavor is a lot.
Yeah.
So but what happens is the bigger you get, right, you may be like right now, we order 1,000 units per flavor. So 1,000 units can be covered in one lot. But the bigger you get, as a supplement company gets huge, let's say they do a run of like 25,000. Well, that might be broken up into 5 lots because the industrial size granulators that they use to, like, mix up all the ingredients, it can only produce so much. So if they have one batch in that container fills up, you know, let's say 5,000 units, that would be one lot. The second they have to do another run in that container, it would be a second lot, even though it may be the same formula, same flavor, but they had to do another run of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're saying, like, for lots, you can have like, say, just send it tiger's blood. Like there can be multiple lots in that, and you would have to test each lot. But there are some people that would just take hey, I got the tiger's blood paperwork, run it.
Yep.
But if
so just do a test on the first lot.
Yeah.
And then if they have 4 more lots going behind it, they don't test it to save that money.
Damn, so it can get real pricey real quick.
And that's why the Informed Choice and the Informed Sports and the BSCG seal, those 3 seals are so fucking expensive that we can't afford it, realistically. Only the big fish can play in that pond right now, because those seals, not only do they charge you $3,000 a month or $3,000 a year to be in the pool per product. That's per product, mind you. So that'd be $3,000 for Send It, $3,000 for Charlie Mike, $3,000. So
just to slap their like little label on it.
Just slap their label on it. But then they charge you $1,500 a quarter per product to do those blind tests, where they go out and they buy your products and test it.
And this is the big thing for like Olympic lifting, right? Like I think we were talking about it when we were on Amazon, because they were like, I remember looking at the list and I was like, what the fuck? What are they talking about with like having this you can just send this certification. And then it like skipped everything else. It was that one. And you were saying exactly what you're saying now, that it's just expensive as shit.
Yeah, it's super expensive. I mean, at the end of the year, you would be $100,000 in just testing fees.
Just to have a little
just to have that
sticker,
logo.
little sticker on it.
Yeah, but for someone that's really concerned and you want to make sure that you're 100% safe, I know you would be with ours, because we don't run that many lots. That's what I'm saying. Like, each lot is tested. We have paperwork for each lot. We're not big enough. But for some of those companies that are big enough, they can afford to be in that testing pool, and they slap that label on their or that badge on their label, and it's basically saying like, our shit is no shit. It's blind tested every quarter. From these companies. And ultimately that's the goal we want to get to. But obviously it has to make sense to the business. Right now, based on our margins and where we're at, if we attempted to do that, we'd be broke.
Now, do you think it's safe to say that there's more companies than not testing their products because of how expensive it is?
Oh, 100%. That's what I'm saying. It's when I found out that one of the biggest supplement companies out there isn't even doing microbial testing.
So what's that, just if you extrapolate that out, like, so these little companies, what do you think? They can't, like, realistically, can you, like, if you're just starting up, unless you have capital behind you, like, you should be fucking doing that for your customers, but I'm sure a lot of people are just.
Most are not.
Yeah.
No, fuck them. It's all about profit. How can we make more money? And that's never been the case with us. Like even with the Amazon, to put things into perspective, if you're looking for a good quality product, feel safe. If the product's on Amazon, then it's at least doing most of the testing, right? They don't have to. Amazon now requires you to do the drug testing too, which we had to do. And so here's the crazy thing. Like I was explaining the expenses of how much it costs to do all this testing. Well, we've already done it, and we were on Amazon. Amazon kicked us off because they did that whole testing, the 18 products I told you about. So Amazon came under huge fire. Like, hey, you have stuff on your marketplace, and they got a bunch of fines from the Federal Trade Commission and Truth in Advertising. And so they're trying to tighten up their wheelhouse, which is cool. So they booted all these supplement companies, and they said, hey, if you want to continue to sell your supplement products on Amazon, you have to provide certificate of analysis testing. You have to provide microbial testing. You have to provide third-party testing for banned substances. And it was like, cool. So they hit us. I was like, boom, here's all our documents. And they said, no. They said, you have to do it through our lab, which I guess is cool, because I'm sure there's some shady people out there that, hey, we need some numbers fudged and we need it to look like our product's good.
Yeah.
Why else would Amazon? That's the only reason I would see why Amazon's like, no, we're not going to take your documents. You have to go through our lab.
Yeah.
And so we had to pay a second testing fee. It was like $4,000 I paid just to have all of our Sendits retested, even though we've already had them tested. And guess what? They passed. Shocker. But it sucks. It's like we had to come out of pocket that much just to get back on Amazon. But at the same point, I guess it's like now if you see a product on Amazon, like, you should feel confident after knowing what we went through to get our products back on there.
Yeah.
Like, the products are safe.
Hopefully. Yeah, I don't know. You sent me that fucking, well, there was just like a bag on Amazon of like pre-workout. It just had like a little.
Dude slipped through because they had it listed. When you list something on Amazon, you have to pick what category it belongs in. And that's what triggers you have to have this testing, that. I think they put it on there as like household goods or something. Was
it just a bag with like a white label that said pre-workout on it? And it was just powder in it? Like,
yeah, that shit got caught. But yeah, so it's crazy. But it's cool to see that Amazon now requires like you have to provide that testing.
Yeah, if the majority of companies are not testing.
Yeah.
Like, which just you do. If you're a small company, you should be testing because like you don't want the federal government to step in and be like, no. Yo, this ain't the fucking this ain't the Wild West.
Right.
Like we're gonna now step in and you're gonna have to go through our labs and we're gonna have to bless you off.
Yeah.
And if we don't, guess what? You can't fucking sell supplements anymore.
Right.
Could you imagine like 95%, probably more of every supplement company would just collapse. But that's what's going to happen if you have these small companies or companies in general, even the bigger companies that are just skipping steps to make profit. And then the federal government comes in and be like, wait a second, like you have Ebola or whatever it is, salmonella in your products. Like if there's just more and more of that, it's just going to catch the fucking eye, like the eye of Sauron on Lord of the Rings and be like, no more of this shit, dude.
No more shall pass.
And you don't, dude, we don't want that. It'd be fucking terrible. It'd be absolutely terrible.
And like the FDA is honing in on it because it is a huge business, right? And if they do get involved and they have to shut things down, like they're going to turn it over to big pharma,
which no one wants that.
Nobody wants that. No, and I brought this up in multiple posts before, and people are like, "Well, I think we want that. If you're saying that all this testing isn't done, then why not turn it over to big pharma and ensure it's being done?" I was like, but then you're going to be paying big pharma prices. Like, that affects the normal consumer.
Yeah.
It affects you. You're used to paying $30 for a jug of protein for $40, right? You're going to be paying fucking $200-$300 for a jug of protein.
Yeah. And it's probably going to be big pharma garbage that's going to be in those proteins and pre-workouts. There's probably going to be stuff that they're not going to put in.
Yeah.
Because of one thing or another, even if studies show, as we saw during COVID, study shows that this actually helps with X, Y, and Z. Yeah. No. Take this.
But anyways, that's my supplement ramp this week because, dude, I mean, a lot came out. It was crazy to see the recall. It was crazy to see people getting called out for not third-party testing. We'll see what happens. I hope it's a wake-up call. But surprisingly, there's still going to be people out there promoting these products that are being recalled, and they're the greatest ever.
Well, hopefully it opens.
Hey, Leslie.
Well, it seems like it's opening people's eyes. I mean, you saw there was some backlash this weekend about it. Like, I don't know. Hopefully it changes people's perceptions.
Yeah.
But pay Leslie. Okay, well, now I was going to go. I'm not going to talk about China. I won't talk about China, thanks to whoever came up to you and said they don't want to listen to a podcast.
Oh, is that on your agenda? You had some shit.
There's some big stuff that's going on.
Oh, boy. What?
Huh?
Throw it out there.
Well, Australia and U.S. kicked off their war games this past week with 30,000 troops. So we have a couple of my buddies over there right now, and I guess I can say it because it's in the news. So I think they were trying to keep it hush-hush, but now that it's officially out, we can say. So we had a couple of our guys go over. They're over in Japan, and then Australia's in it, and then there's a couple other Pacific nations that are having our war games, our simulation. Mm-hmm. If we were to go to war with China, what does that look like? And so they kicked off last week.
Oh,
so
nice.
30,000 troops. It's a lot of people, a lot of motherfuckers over there. Yeah. So
was it called War Games?
What is the actual
U.S. and Australia use War Games
saber
to focus on long-range firepower.
Talisman saber.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, supposedly it's a tradition since 2005, but I guess it's because of the heightened, I don't know, the heat that's coming up.
Yeah.
Now the eyes on that, so I don't know.
To focus on long-range firepower.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're just trying to show force, more or less. Like, you don't want to fucking fuck with us. You don't want to take Taiwan. This is what we got.
Damn. Cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Show them what we got.
Yep.
Is that why we came out with Oppenheimer, too, as like a reminder? Okay, watch this movie. You recall what happened?
Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Oh, man.
You don't want that again. And then we sent another $1 quadrillion over to Ukraine. Do you know, I saw a statistic the other day. Do you know we have spent more money in Ukraine than we did the whole war in Vietnam? Now, I don't know.
What?
Yes. And I don't know if that's adjusted for inflation either, but I saw that, yeah, we've officially spent more money in Ukraine now than we did in the whole war of Vietnam. We just sent another one last week. We just sent fucking one more, $1.3 billion.
God damn.
Security assistance, 165 tactical vehicles on 150 fuel trucks to Ukraine. I'm sorry, person that's not going to be named that doesn't want to go down the doom rabbit hole. Doom porn. But
it is frustrating. Like
it's fucking frustrating, man. It's frustrating because it's like, where's the end game in this? Like, why aren't we talking about this piece? We're just fucking, like, what's our end goal? We're just going to keep sending shit. Fucking boom, boom, boom. Inflation's skyrocketing. Keep sending money over there.
Right. And it's crazy because, like, we don't have our own debt under control. And, like, there was an article the other day, too, about basically, like, interest rates are at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Housing prices are at an all-time high. And normally when they opposite one another. Mm-hmm. So when interest rates are high, housing prices drop. Mm-hmm. When housing prices skyrocket, interest rates drop. Now they're both at an all-time high, and people are still buying homes.
It's a fucking chaos. I'm buying a home right now. I'm seeing it. It's fucking craziness. Out here, it's fucking madness.
God. Yeah, and it's like, and that's only going to get worse the more our deficit increases and the more we continue to spend. But then I saw they were like, fuck, they're putting this plan in place to forgive debt.
Student loan debt.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know if they think of it as like, okay, like that will kickstart the economy. But if you look at the economy is actually doing okay.
Yeah.
Like if you look at like the Dow Jones and shit, like the NASDAQ's doing fucking great.
Right.
Which is interesting.
I think that's
but I don't
just
know if it's
horrible
like,
move.
if they're just like, okay, well, if these students aren't spending $500 a month on student loans, they can be spending those $500 into the economy. I don't know. Yeah. You're about to find out because your daughter's going to school. So
yeah, tell me about it. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I got to worry about, you know? I mean, this past week, eye-opening, went up and saw my parents, and definitely motivated me to try and get this business rolling. Like, we pussyfooted around long enough.
Yeah, fucking pedal to the metal.
Yeah, and I think we're going to take, and it's interesting because, you know, we brought Rock in from, which if you guys haven't watched that episode, amazing episode, go check out Rock Pelon. Jim Reapers, he was on, talked about their absolutely astonishing growth over the past 4 years. Mm-hmm. And dude's just a freak of nature when it comes to business and how he looks at everything. But he looked at our numbers. He's like, dude, you need to start spending more money in marketing, like drive this business now. And so I paid $1,000 to have a separate company come in and do what do you call that?
Analysis.
Audit. Yeah, an audit on our business. And it was really humbling because it was cool to get that extra perspective, because when you're a business owner and you're looking at it and you're in the weeds and you're like, fuck, like, you know that you have to spend money to make money, but at the same time, you don't want to spend money and not see that return. Because for a small business like us, that's going to fucking hurt if you're spending $15,000 a month and you don't see that return. So we bring in this other company to audit our business, and they gave us high scores across the board. And they're like, hey, normally when we look at a company, they score 2s and 3s. You're scoring 7s and 8s, and you had 1 9. And they basically mirrored what Rocket said. They're like, you need to double down and start spending more money on marketing. Like, you're getting the results. You're getting phenomenal results. Like, double down, start spending money. It's like, all right, pussyfooting around.
Yeah.
It's time to pull the trigger. Because like you said, man, it's like, now's the time. We have a great product. We have a great mission. We have a great fucking team. How do we get other people to see it?
Yeah, it's now or never.
We got to. Mm-hmm. After seeing my parents, like, I need to move my mom out here.
I know. That's how
take care of her. Got my daughters going to college.
That's how I feel too. Getting older sucks.
It does suck.
No,
man.
it's just like all you see is like death and despair. Like your friends are fucking dying. Your parents are getting older and they're dying.
I didn't go there.
Sorry.
You're like, damn.
I'll fucking go. I'll go there, dude.
Damn.
It's tough, dude. It's
No,
tough.
it is
It's
tough.
tough getting older and seeing that and seeing like your parents' age and like
Yeah.
your grandparents, if you're lucky enough to still have your grandparents around or whatever. Like my grandparents are getting older and seeing that. And but then you start thinking about it because like I talked to my mom this week because my grandpa's not doing well and she's just talking. We were talking about like what happens if she gets to that point, you know? And it's like she's like, I don't want to get to that point. Like you gotta, I'm writing you in my will that like you're gonna be the pull the plugger. And I was like, oh, okay.
Pull the plugger.
Yeah, like because my grandpa has Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And he's like not remembering anything.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not getting to that point, Nick. Like, you're going to have to pull the plug on me before I get to that point. But then it's like, when they do get to a point, or like, even if it doesn't get to that point, but they can't support themselves, it's like you want to have the economic means to be able to support your parents.
And that's where I'm at. Yeah. I need to be able to help them out. Got to be able to figure a way to get them out here. Like that's where, like you said, it's rough. Like watching them get old. And my dad, because my parents are old. My parents are probably as old as your grandparents. How old are your grandparents?
Grandpa's 85. Yeah.
So my dad's 86. But they, I think I was an accident. My dad had me. He was 41.
Yeah.
He had me. I was like, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
But so he's up there in age and like he's hearing's lost, same thing. So, dude, it sucks walking in to their house and we go into their basement and I'm like looking around. I'm like, I was like, is that an air fryer right there? Like brand new in box? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. We just got it. Does this and this and this. It's like, cool. So what about that other air fryer that's right over there on the counter? Or the air fryer that I saw upstairs in the kitchen? So you have 3 air fryers? Well, yeah, but they all have different meanings. And then my mom's like, yeah, he won't stay off QVC. Just on and he just buys shit.
Fucking QVC.
So like I was going through, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, they have like 5 waffle makers. I took a picture in the garage because he has fucking 6 of the same heaters, all brand new in box. I'm like, what the fuck? So I told my mom, I was like, take his credit card away. He cannot be on QVC because he just sits on QVC. Like you said, he has a little bit of dementia on board, and like he's old and like he just sits on QVC. And he's like, oh my God, that's amazing. I need one. He buys it, whether he forgot he already had one or maybe he's like, well, this one does so much more. I need it. But he just has tons of shit and they're all duplicates. I'm like, Dad. So we got to figure out. I told him I'd find someone on eBay or like an eBay seller that's going to help him sell through this shit. Because I'm not there to do it, but it's like then I got to figure out how to get him here and keep a closer eye on him. Yeah, it's like he's just gonna spend all of his fucking
how dare QVC
retirement
fucking
on
go
QVC shit.
Yeah, taking money away from the older folks.
Yeah, dude, I forget. I think his name's Pete. It's like in the kitchen with Pete. My dad's like, Pete's really good though. Like, fuck Pete, Dad.
Pete's taking all your money, Dad.
Dad, you don't need another wok. When's the last time you cooked any wok? But yeah, he bought a brand new fucking.
Cooking with Pete.
Dude, he buys meat off of there too.
What?
Meat, steaks. Like Pete,
it's like Omaha
delicious.
steaks.
I don't know. I'm like, Dad, you shouldn't be buying fucking meat off QVC.
Yeah, that's the last place you should be fucking buying your meat from QVC.
But he has this badass. They just bought a badass. What do you call those smokers?
Traegers.
Yeah. Big fucking Traeger. Like one of the big ones. I'm like, what the fuck? It was it hadn't even been open, so I assembled it for him while I was there, so he could use it. But
yeah, those bitches are expensive too.
Yeah. It's like their big one. It looks like a fucking big ass barbecuer.
Yeah, and put a whole fucking pig in there, dude.
Dude, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? So I assembled it for him, and I was like, you're probably never gonna use this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Pete got him again.
Damn it, Pete. He's so good.
Yeah. But you're right. Like it sucks seeing that, but you got to start planning for the future.
Oh. Fuck.
That's right. What else we got on the agenda today?
Nothing.
Just ramble session.
We're just rambling. Yeah.
Good times though.
Yeah, we've been fucking busy. We've been really busy. And pushing through, send it volume 2, version 2, V2. Yeah, this is the last month has been all that, really.
Yeah.
That's why we've been so fucking busy.
Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't picked up V2, definitely check it out. You'll love it. And then we're going to have to do another special on V1. We just had 25% off sale.
Yeah.
Because we have $60,000 worth of inventory on V1.
Yeah.
So we're going to run another special. So either buy V2 because you'll love it, or stock up on some V1 so we can get it out of our warehouse.
Yeah. Yeah, and that way then we can do another flavor or whatever of V2 and maybe do some stem-free shit.
Stem-free. Maybe. Yeah, I love that shit.
I know.
But anyways, good talk, man.
Yeah.
Got to talk about movies. Got to talk about...
China, again. I had
Sorry.
to. I didn't get into the aliens, but that's
Talk
okay.
about supplements and my
and
frustrations
the bullshit
in this
of the
industry.
industry.
It'll get better, though. But the good news, we do have a bunch of Send It V2 getting in the hands of Price Plow. They helped us actually formulate it, and they're going to be doing some promos for it. And GNC and Vitamin Shop hold dearly the thoughts of Ben and Price Plow team. That's why he went out there and he was part of the Caged Muscle presentation with GNC. So Ben loves the formula so much, and he knows that the head guys over at GNC are going to love the formula as well. So the other thing is, I hope that it draws attention, but like we talked about our slim margins and like how we dump extra money into testing, we're also currently working with 2 of the best label guys in the industry.
Yeah, I've seen their fucking labels are ridiculous.
Yep.
They're so cool.
So we're going through a slight rebrand, but dude, the labels on our new products are going to be on a whole nother fucking level. Very unique.
Yeah.
Different from what you used to seeing on the store shelves. So, yeah, exciting things.
Yeah. Got a lot of good stuff going on. And then you'll see us in Vitamin Shop and GNC sooner than later.
We'll get there. I got nothing else, bro.
Not nothing else. I just Sunday talk, man.
Sunday chat.
Sunday chat.
That's right. We do this on the weekend now, so we can, focus during the week on the business.
Yeah,
which is what's needed. But
yeah, it is. So
we appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, hopefully you got something out of here, and we're not fear mongering.
That's right. And the 2 listeners that we do have.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, Mom. We appreciate you. So give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe to the channel. Also give us some feedback if there's stuff you want to hear from us, stuff you want us to cover. We're down.
Yep. I think that is all. Yep.
Black Sheep Narrative out.
See ya.